Hi everybody. I'm gonna show you how I do my flat colors on my webcomic project Sunsblade. Um, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me please. You'll see I'm working on Clip Studio Paint. I have the X version, but you can do exactly the same thing as I'm about to do on the Pro version, or I didn't try the basic version. But you should be alright with the Pro version also. So this is page 44. I'm about to flat and then do um, the shades and everything on it. The interface is a bit different from what you probably are used to because I changed it. I'm using a tablet monitor, so it's a lot easier for me to work that way, and I have some special shortcuts on my keyboard to help me work faster. Uh, it's all about being efficient. So yeah, I tried different ways to flat, so my work progress is a lot faster and more efficient. Though that's what I'm about to show you. So I have here on the right side, I have my layers. I have many different type of layers that I'm going to explain you what it means. This is like the panels count contour that I have here. Uh, this is the crack noise. It's pink just so I could see it, but it's not going to be pink at the end. I have a text layer, but it's just for whoops, uh, the number because the character isn't speaking. I have a whole layer for my ink. It's not actually ink, obviously, but it's the ink process that's here. And I have another pink layer that's for the background uh, trees right here. They're obviously not going to be pink. And I have whole layers here with the sketch process. This is the storyboard phase. If I remove this, you can see it better. So this is my first step. I do it a lot smaller just to throw in some ideas with like 3 different shades of blue. It's not important, it's just so everything's clear to me. It's not meant to be read by someone else. And then on top of this, I have 2 layers of sketches. Sometimes I just have one depending of the complexity of the page. You can see the second layer. There not much to it, just to refine the facial expression. Or here it was a bit messy. If I remove this, this is the the second phase, the sketches, and then on top of that, I do the ink with the panel contour. So there we are. Clip Studio Paint is amazing to do flats. I've seen if you have other ways to do it or you have your own methods, uh, really don't hesitate to share. I'm always open to uh, to learn more and to be more efficient and to learn more better and better ways to work and work faster and better. So to do flats in Clip Studio Paint, you have the bucket here, the bucket tool that you can use. And here you always have this little window, that subtool fill. You have subtools for the fill tool. By default, it's refer only to editing layers. So whenever you're gonna use that tool, it's gonna refer to the layer on which you are. So if I'm on the ink layer, then I put blue in here. If I remove that, since it's not closed, it's going to go outside. And you see little pixels here. And I'm always trying to find ways to work in non-destructive way, uh, which means that I want to keep my ink layer pure. I want to keep it that way. I don't want to mess with it more than it should be. I am The only thing I do with this layer is to change the color of um, the line, but that's it. I want to keep it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, use the second subtool, refer other layers, and with that you get to choose a layer that will be the reference layer. Did you see that little lighthouse symbol here? It's called set as reference layer. So I'm going to set my ink layer as a reference layer, and then you go here on the tool properties, refer other layers here. So you get to choose the second option here, and then here I'm going to stretch it a bit. You can make the tool close the gaps. So when I work, I try to close all the gaps, but as you can see, uh, the contour of my line is on another layer, which means that there are lots of forms that are not closed. If I make a new layer, I'm going to call it background color, and then I put colors in here to draw the hand. Um, then you see it's going everywhere. That's not what I want. So what I'm about to do with this layer, I'll just select it. I'm using a PC, so with Control, I hold Control, and then I click on the image here. It's going to select this whole layer. Everything that is drawn on this layer is going to be selected. And then you have different properties here that you can exploit. I'm going to shrink the selected area about it could be 1, it could be about 5 pixels. It should be fine. I'm working on 600 dpi, so that per inches. So it's a good quality for doing colors. So here I shrink it, so you see the selection is a bit smaller than it was, and the only thing I'm going to do on my ink layer is to fill it with black. Right here, you see the little fill tool here. I'm going to fill it, and then if I remove this layer, I have all of this. So now I have a it could be even smaller, bigger than 5 pixels, but this is going to be fine for what I want. So I have my panel contour here. That's the official panel contour, and what I added is something to close the gaps on all my drawings. So if I'm on BG color and I'm using my fill tool, and then I click on the hand here, it's just going to fill the hand, and then I can continue like this. Then I color the hand. This is not the color I wanted, it's just to show you how it works. But then with that ink, that ink layer that's selected and chosen as a reference layer, with my tool here, my fill tool that's set on refer other layers, and you can choose these settings here. You have the color margin. I don't really know. Change error margin as treating, whatever. I didn't change that, but I did change area scaling. That's that's the magic here on Clip Studio Paint, is that the color, instead of stopping on the line and creating little smooshy white pixels, it's going to go a bit further. So if I remove this layer, you can see it's going just a little further, but you can still see white pixels, and sometimes there's nothing you can do against it. Um, but I have my own way to dealing with these little ugly pixels that you can just see by zooming intensely on the screen. When it's printed, nobody's going to see that, but just for my own comfort, you see there are lots of little pixels there because I'm using the filling tool when doing my blacks, but that's because I know I have a way to remove them. What I do, um, in fact, I'm going to flat all of this page, and then I'm going to show you how I deal with the white pixels.